Vijay?
Yeah, I'm recording it.
Okay, lovely. Okay, fine. So, all right, perfect. So, hi everybody, and welcome to the topic of having courage and choose. So basically, I mean, Vijay was, Vijay was kind enough to talk to me about this possible Zoom, and we were talking in the afternoon. That's how quickly actually we make choices, right? So we were talking in the afternoon, and he had a bunch of titles, and I was looking at their titles, and he was like, if there's anything from here that you would like to talk about. And I looked at it, and so this one really flashed in my list was having the courage to choose, because the two things that I really love talking about is courage and choice, and they kind of go hand in hand actually. And courage is such an inherent quality that we all have, but it's everything else that comes in the way, that gets us in the way of having the courage. Like, courage, sometimes people require a courage to choose something beyond judgment. Sometimes it requires courage to basically make bold choices, big choices, or whatever choices, or the little choices. So I would like to ask you, look in your world, what is it that courage is for you? What is it that you require courage for? And at the same time, I would like to talk about, how choice, and these have been like recent and they are so relevant right now in these times about choice, because you have a choice with everything that's going on. You can align and agree, you can resist and react. And then there is a choice that you make a demand of yourself. You choose to ask a question. You choose to ask for contribution. You choose to ask for a different possibility that is true for you. And these are the choices, again, where if you look at it, you kind of, there is a boldness that is required. There is a commitment that is required. So courage again is like, one of the ways where you actually have the courage to commit to you. So are you willing to commit to you? Are you willing to commit to your knowing? Are you willing to commit to what's light for you? And then these are all the choices that are beyond rightness and wrongness. And isn't it like, like when we make a choice, basically we make it based on, is this a right choice, is this a wrong choice? Because how many of us are willing to have the courage to make a choice based on something that is not related to right and wrong, and create from there on? So everything that doesn't allow you to know what courage and how much ease you can have with that for you, can you please destroy and clear it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, poor and poor, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And courage is like something like, I mean, whether be it the, the coronavirus times or something like that. But courage for me is also something where, are you willing to be different? That requires courage. I mean, I remember a few months ago, a lady called me, and she was going through, she was making a choice to divorce her husband of 15, 17 years. And she called me, and she had a choice to live with her parents. But she was like, I'm not sure I want to live with my parents. So she called me, and she's like, I want to ask you what it is like living alone. And I'm someone, like, I've been living on my own since I was of age 17. And it's not something like where it was a lifetime choice I made at age of 17, but it's a choice that I've continued to make. And it's not from a space of like, oh, I don't want to live with people, but it's about actually having a space where I have my life, and I don't have to necessarily go live with someone because I'm related to them. I don't have to necessarily go live with someone because I'm a single woman and I cannot live alone. I don't have to necessarily go live with someone because they have to pay, because I will not be able to pay for my bills. So I don't need to, it's not from it. So it was more from a space of like, are you willing to be on your own and then make a choice of letting people in who are there to contribute to you, rather than rather than actually having people in your life based on what you define as your needs. So again, are you willing to have the courage to go beyond your needs? because one of when I asked this friend, like I was like, okay, what is it that you would like to talk to me about? And she's like, I want you to tell me how easy or how difficult it is to live on your own, to live on your own as a single woman in Bombay, and and stuff like that. And I never looked at it, and a lot of people keep asking me about it. How is it that that you're living on your own, you're living a life that is independent and everything? And I never looked at it from a space of that, oh yeah, I have to have an independent life, or this is something that I have defined as independence, or something like that. But it was more from a space of, are you willing to go that extra mile to have your back? Are you willing to go that extra mile to make a choice that works for you? And it's not about and again, it's not about, hey, everyone should live alone or something. It's about, are you willing to make choices that work for you? And everything that doesn't allow you to have ease with that, can you please destroy and create it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, these are the things like with choice. If you step away from what's the right choice, what's the wrong choice, and you make choice based on question of um, what is it going to create for you, and what and from that space, and then we have this amazing tool of light and heavy. So is this light for you? Is this heavy for you? What will your life be like in 5 years from now if you choose this? What will your life be like in 5 years from now if you don't choose this? So some of the things that you know I love the combination of courage and choice, and thank you, Vijay, for that. So if you guys have any questions or anything you would like me to elaborate on, please feel free to unmute yourself or ask questions. Yeah, Vijay just said any questions, please type in the chat. So how is it for you guys? How are making choices for you right now? How is it for you, Vijay?
Yeah, for me, like doing the choices and go with the awareness is like every question gives me a new awareness. Therefore, based on the question, I will choose the choices. And choices, again, we will see whether it is contributing to me or it has come for removing some energy from me or it is positive energy for me. Based on that, I will be choosing the choices and go with the awareness and whether this choices is contributive to the society also.
Yeah, exactly. Like how many of us are willing to make a choice that is actually a contribution to the world? And where have we decided that a choice that is a contribution to world needs to look a certain way? You choosing to be an interesting point of view of everything that's going on. Hi Pooja,
Hi,
and
long time. How are you?
time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you choosing to be that interesting point of view in times like these is actually a contribution that you can be to the world, because if one person in your neighborhood, one person in your city is making a different choice. So are you choosing? Are you willing to have the courage to be different? So, any questions? I love how. Okay, cool. Any questions about courage? So, what is courage for you guys?
Courage is to be different from the routine and taking the action so it is contributing to your
Yeah.
business or it is contributing to your uh, self or not being in allowance.
Yeah, and courage is also about yeah, and it is, and it's courage is about being an allowance, and courage is also about having that vulnerability with yourself, right? When you have that vulnerability with yourself, you have the ability to be brutally honest with you,
Yes.
right? And so yeah, Should I start asking people by name? Courage is going. Jagir, would you like to unmute yourself and speak?
I was just in a lighter way saying courage for me right now is going out to fetch groceries.
Yeah. So and that. Could you talk more about that? I would love that. I would love that conversation.
Well,
Could you
out
talk?
here there are
And it's not
cops
like
going out, cops going out
Show
beating
your
up
face,
people.
Jahangir. Show your
show
face.
your face, Jagir. Have the courage to show your face, Jagir.
I have, but I'll have to dress up. If you are willing to look at me the way I am, I don't mind coming on the video.
Yeah, we are okay with the way you are.
I can say that for Pooja and me for sure. Oh, there you are.
Hi, after a long time, Jahangir,
Yes.
being in the same area, we have not seen each other.
Yeah. So can you tell me? Can you talk to me more about the? I mean, I know it's on this thing, but can you talk to me more about courage to go out and fetch vegetables?
Yeah, what happens is out here, number one, there is a very fixed time in which people are allowed to actually move out, and then there are cops shooing everybody away from the roads. And so, like, it's a big, it's like an adventure. You prepare for an adventure on every trip, and there is an uncertainty whether you will come back in one piece.
Yeah, with vegetables. And that I think biggest fear is साला गए तो बाहर तो गए पर at least भाजी लेके तो घर पे आए. You know, otherwise what's the point of?
But then that's where clearings work for me. Before leaving, I make a clearing, and then I come back very. I get everything I want.
Yeah. So can I ask you, how much fear are you aware of that's going on for other people?
Lots.
Yeah. So I like, and how much frustration are you aware of about other people, and how much fear are you aware of people, of the cops? By the way, cops on the street means fear for some people. And see, have you noticed it? Yeah.
Yes.
How much fear are you aware of that's going on in other people's worlds of cops? How much fear are you aware of people who are afraid of the coronavirus, right? And then that's a thing. It's like the opposite of courage, fear. Fear is a distractor implant, which is a lie. And so it's like, so how much fear are you aware of that's going on for others? And there's something else I was gonna say. Cops going out, and are you willing to make yourself infinite?
Yeah, I always expand myself and make myself invisible when I'm out.
Okay, so you don't have to make yourself invisible. You have to make yourself. What if you could make yourself infinite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same thing, because when we expand, we go into that infinite state, right?
What is it?
Yeah, that's how I go into the infinite state. I just keep expanding.
That's the thing. It's like we compute that. I remember, like, I was telling someone, like, hey, why don't you make your car infinite? Because she was like, my car keeps getting banned, and she's like, no, then no one will see it on the street. I was like, okay, that's an interesting computation. Every molecule, the true nature of every molecule, every being, every entity is infinite, right? So where have you decided that means invisible? But at the same time, what if you don't have to compute what that means like? But when you're infinite, what happens is, and you could also ask yourself to be the vibration of Earth.
Okay.
When you go out. So what happens is, when you're infinite, it's more of that you are congruent with every energy that is there, rather than a solid entity. And I would not say that's invisible, because you want to be visible, you want to show up. At the same time, you also want to be an expanded space. So yeah, so expand yourself, infinite, make yourself infinite, and keep. Yeah, and then this is where, guys, like, interesting point of view. You have the point of view that you go out, it's a dangerous thing, and interesting, and please use your awareness. So if I go out now, what will my life be like in 5 years? If I don't go out now, what will my life be like in 5 years? And use that question. So use a question to choose, right? And also everything that comes up, it's like you're right now, the best friends that we have is tool number 1 from the 10 keys to freedom: infinite being. Would an infinite being choose this, right? Infinite being. You expand yourself, make yourself infinite. Second, interesting point of view. Keep do every point of view that you get aware of. Oh, the cops are looking at me. Okay, cool, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Not that interesting point of view. I have this point of view that the cops are looking at me. But interesting point of view. I have this point of view that that's going to create a problem for me. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that they have this point of view. So my dad, like about 4 5 days ago, he had a heart attack. So and we were taking him to the hospital, and then and we had I mean we took him to the hospital emergency room, and there the doctors were like, well, he's breathless, so he's a COVID person, so please take him to the get his COVID test done, right? And and you're aware that that is what's going on for you, but then either you can have a resistance and reaction, and the cops came because it's a COVID case, and blah blah blah, and I remember, and it's like, um, another thing that happens with interesting point of view is when you're willing to not align and agree and resist and react, right? This is more of a resistance and reaction that comes up for people. And I actually told the cops, I was like, do you know any person that who has a heart attack and is not breathless? So that made sense to them, right? And and then and he was able to get the treatment that he required. But what if and then that's another thing. If you go out, what if instead of a resistance, कि अरे बच के रहना है, right? Because how much of that is going on in other people's world? Being careful. Would you rather be careful or would you rather be aware? So, because when you're being careful, what do you have to do? Barriers up. And even if you try to be infinite, you can't be infinite because the barrier itself will make you so solid. So what if you could lower your barriers? Do you have the courage to lower your barriers? Everything that brought up, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all nine shows. What if you could lower your barriers and be the energy flows with the cops? Don't forget the tools. This is where this is the time for all of us who are in access consciousness and other modalities of consciousness. This is the time when people need these things, and where you can use this. So don't forget the tools. Be willing to do the energy flows. Whatever energy flows are required. Lower your barriers, be willing to do the energy flows. Everything, every thought, feeling, and emotion that comes up, remind yourself that you're most likely perceiving what's going on for others rather than what's true for you. And make a demand of yourself to be interesting point of view. Because in the last 3 months, guys, I have been out several times a day. I've been out at like 2 o'clock in the night to get medicines for my father, because nearby medicine shops were closed, and so we had to go all the way to Ames. And like we've been caught by cops. We've been caught. Like, I get it. I know. Okay. And this is where like I would really like to say, yeah, the tools rock. The tools work, and very basic ones. Infinite being, be the infinite being that you are. So what if before you get out of the house, and even right now, but like even or before you get out of the house, that's fine. Like, make a demand of yourself, expand out, and be the infinite being you are. Tool number 2, interesting point of view. You keep being the interesting point of view. 3, lower your barriers. And 4, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes, and not from a space of, oh, hey, Bhagavan, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. But really embodying the all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And this is where and we could call it the courage, we could call it the boldness, but it is basically the demand that you make of yourself to commit to you and consciousness, and commit to basically. And why consciousness? Because consciousness kind of works for you right now. Consciousness is one thing that's probably going to work for you, right? So all of life is glory. Another thing that I really like to do is when I go out, I lower my barriers and I keep pulling energy of peace through me, through my reality, through my body. Keep pulling massive amounts of ease. Keep pulling ease in your world through you. Yeah. Notice the lightness these things brought in your world. And thank you for that, Jagir. I mean, I know you were joking, but and at least it gave me some lead to go. And I hope that these pointers or these things are contributing to other people as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anything else, guys? Like, how is living at home? How is living with loved ones for you? Right? So how is that? Like, I know it's like, and it is not about like, oh, like, how do I say? It's not from a space of like, yeah, I don't want to be the preacher here, but I would definitely like to be that person who can talk to you about, okay, yes, I know what's going on, because the very similar things are coming up for me as well, and these are the tools I'm using, and if I can share those tools with you and if they can help you, how does it get better than that? And really, guys, consciousness works for you, so keep choosing that consciousness, and anywhere you align and agree and resistant reaction. And okay, so I would like to talk about that resistance and reaction, and like, and Dane has been talking about and Simone has been talking about it, like instead of a reaction, what if you can go into action? So everywhere you are tied up with reaction, with everything that's coming up. Can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and cock, or nice shows. How many of you are aware of? Is there any question in the chat? Oh, okay. Dhara said something. I think courage. Okay, well, okay. So I'll come to that, Dhara, in a second. So how many reaction? What was I saying? Reaction. This thing. Yeah. So how many of you are aware? Okay, so everything with that's going on with the lockdown, everything that's going on in the news, does that make you feel light, or does that actually make you angry? Angry. Okay, who else?
Yes, angry and heavy and disturbing.
Yeah.
In fact, I've stopped looking at the news at all.
Yeah. Right. And anyone else, like anything else that comes up for people with everything that basically is a reaction to the spread of coronavirus. And then how many reactions do you have with respect to that, and how much of that anger is basically your awareness of the lies that people are using or believing that this is the way to handle coronavirus, right? And it's like, and what if that's not the way? And so what if you could acknowledge that lie? So when that anger comes, acknowledge that lie, and that is you going into action rather than reaction. Because when you acknowledge something on the planet, more of that awareness starts to show up. When you acknowledge an awareness that you have of a life, more of that awareness becomes available to others. And that is how that's one of the ways you could go into an action mode with respect to, rather than going into reaction mode, which would be, yeah, anger, frustration, and blah 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 blah. Or you could look at it, and right now is really a great time with everything that keeps coming up. Look at it. You have the tools, you know what to do, and now is a time. And I'm not saying that you're not using the tools before, but now is a time, like if there's anything else that really works, I think way more than water and food and everything else. And one thing that really contributes right now is your ability to look at it, to use the tools to look at what's coming up. Okay, so Dhara's question, I think courage for me is now is not on taking action, but to get sure if my decision will become right, will get right outcomes. So yeah, and that's the thing, Dhara. So what if choice was not so much about whether I'm making the right choice or the wrong choice? What if you could choose based on a simple question? If I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? If I don't choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years from now? Right? So because this whole thing of that going into the rightness and wrongness, nothing else in the universe can contribute to us. Okay, so when you go, so and I love this explanation that Brendan gave in one of the classes about choice. How basically what happens is, so we have these 4 things, right? Question, choice, possibility, contribution. Okay, so when you go a step away from right choice, wrong choice, and you make a choice, okay, based on that question. Okay, 10 minutes more, thank you. So based on the question, when you make a, based on a question, you basically open your entire reality for the universe to contribute to you. Okay, but when you do it from a right choice and a wrong choice, oh, this is based on, this is the outcome I would like, I don't want this to go wrong, I don't. So what are you doing? You're constantly in a state of judgment. When you're constantly in a state of judgment, you limit you close down every door that you have available for um, for for universe to contribute to you. So what if you could make a choice? So in these 10 seconds, what would you like to choose?
Ease, joy, and glory.
Thank you. Yeah. And indeed, and 10 seconds more, what else would you like to choose? What's a future that you would like to create?
Sustainable earth.
Yeah, but what's a future for you that you would like to create?
Happiness.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Right. And so in these 10 seconds, and again, like a great time to be choosing in 10 seconds increments. Any other questions, guys? I hope, Dhara, that helped a little bit. And you feel free to unmute yourself and ask. All right. Any other questions? Anything else that you would like me to talk to you about? I'll be happy to contribute.
Dara is asking question, how to stop judgment from popping up?
Where is that? I don't see it. Oh, she sent in a private chat. What's the question? Can you tell me, please?
Like how to stop judgment from popping?
From popping.
Yes.
Well, judgment doesn't pop. You choose it. And you don't stop the judgment. You make a choice not to judge. Again, a courageous choice. So how many of you use judgment as a platform? Oh, there she is. How to stop judgment from popping. Okay, yeah. So how many of you use judgment as a platform to make choices? I hate this person. I'm never going to, so I'm going to choose not to talk to them. This person is nice to me, so maybe I'll call them. Today was a good day, so maybe tomorrow I'll do the same thing. This business is going well, so maybe I will keep doing that business. Yeah. So how many, so what if instead of, so everywhere you have used judgment as a platform to make choice rather than question, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right? Goodbye pot pop on my shoulders. Because what question does is, question opens up possibilities for you. And multiple possibilities come, infinite possibilities. And then with the possibilities, you choose. When you choose, you basically when you choose basically based on another question, right? What will my life be like in 5 years from now? What will my life, if I choose this, if I don't choose this, and blah, blah, blah. You choose it. And when you make that choice beyond, which is not from space of right and wrong, you invite the universe to contribute to you. How does universe contribute? Universe shows you the next step and next infinite possibilities. So the next set of choices show up. Then you choose again. Then you ask a question and you choose again. And then again, universe contributes with another set of possibilities after that. So you know, and keep choosing, keep choosing, keep choosing. There's no such thing as making one choice for the rest of the day. Oh, I choose to make money, and then that's it. Well, 10 seconds later, do consider choosing again. Yeah. Cool. So, and everywhere, so what energy, space, consciousness, choice, and magic, miracle, mysteries, and possibilities can you all be to choose from a space of questions and infinite possibilities that are true for you? Everything that isn't allowed that times a confident, can you please destroy and create? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shows. Cool. I think we're good. Anything else, guys?
Creation and taking an action.
Creation and taking action. What is your question about that? Can you elaborate, please?
like after we have the choices, we have to act upon it.
Yeah. So, okay, what's your question there? Again.
No, there is no question because previously you thought you forgot some word like that. This is what we are discussing.
No. Get out of reaction and choose action. And action could just be making a choice to be a different energy. Yeah. And thank you. And creation and taking action. Fatima, so Fatima's question is, how can I change health issues? Okay. So ask. So any reality that shows up for you that is not fun for you, a good question to ask is, what point of view am I using that's creating this as my reality? What point of view am I choosing that's creating this as my reality? And it's not something about so much about, oh, pot all the points of views that create. Yeah, I wish, but there is also this is also a place where you have to dynamically get present. So there's any reality with your finances, with your bodies, with anything, with family, with anything that shows up that's not fun for you. Ask, what is that point of view? What point of view did I choose, or am I still choosing that's creating this as my reality? And start looking at that. And ask, maybe Fatima, start asking that question, what point of view and what points of views do I have that's creating this as my health reality or my body's reality? Start looking at that. Okay. And if you guys want, like, you can, it's much easier to unmute yourself. I mean, love it. Okay. All right. Fatima. Yeah, good. We have 3 minutes left. Vijay, is this can this extend or no? We have 3 minutes left, and then the Zoom shuts down.
Yeah, 3 minutes left. It is.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
I wish I knew that. Then I would have used my Zoom account to create. Okay, cool.
Shivam,
All right.
oh.
Yeah, quickly. Speak very fast.
Repeat the question again, please.
What
the one which you told?
What points of views am I choosing that's creating this as my reality?
Am I choosing?
That's creating this as my reality. And get present. You'll start once you be that question, stay with that question for a day, for a few days, and your reality, you'll start to get a sense of what are those points of views, different points of views that you use to create that is, creating this as a reality. Or you used or you chose it. And when those points of view start to show up, cool. So and you can just walk everywhere I aligned and agreed and resisted and reacted to those points of views. I am destroy it all. Everywhere I bought those points of views as true for me, I am created, destroy it all. Okay. And yeah. And now what can I choose? Okay. And also in your case, would you be willing to clear Bikimex for your husband and also for you again?
I did recently. I had the Facebook course which I have done. So I was just going through that, and I have done Becomex recently, like a few days back.
Recently, then just see if you can do it for your husband if you haven't done it already, and then use the questions from that from after the Bikimex. There are a bunch of questions, right? Now that what else can I create with my body? Now that Bikimex are not doing that for us anymore, those questions, start asking those.
Okay, great. I will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shivam is
all
also.
Right, guys.
Yeah, Shivam.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Shivam is also a facilitator. Therefore, anybody want to join can join foundation classes. You can directly
I have coming on 24th of April.
Yes.
So if you guys would like to, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.